I'm a self-taught software engineer who's won a national coding championship, and in this video, I will be sharing the 5 biggest lessons I learned in my journey to software engineer. I will be explaining through stories and personal experiences that took me months of time and hard work. The biggest lesson learned was how to maintain motivation to code every single day. Programming is pure problem solving, so most of the time you're lost, frustrated, and you don't know how to solve the problem, but it just takes time. What's worse is that in the beginning, you don't even have the skills to solve basic problems. My solution to this was changing my environment to succeed. Every single day, I would wake up and at least open my laptop and code for a little bit. And I remember this specific quote that pushed me through the days, which was, "You can suck, but you can't skip." So let's say you had a personal goal of coding for at least an hour a day. I reminded myself that you can suck, but you can't skip. So you can pull up the laptop and just stare at the screen and type 2 words, and that would count as you winning for the day. The point is to keep the ball rolling and do it every single day rather than only do it on days that you feel like it. So if you end up only doing a couple of lines of code or even just staring at the screen, that's a win. And that's how I kept my motivation high and code every single day, even when I didn't want to, because I allowed myself to suck. But I did not allow myself to skip a day. There's never going to be a perfect day to code, especially if you're working around priorities and responsibilities. At the time, I was a part-time janitor and I also had school part-time that I was working on, but I knew as long as I woke up and did some lines of code every single day, I was going to get to my goal, and eventually I did. The second biggest lesson was choosing what to learn. There's so much information, it's overwhelming. As a beginner, you don't know what to pick because you don't have experience yet. My solution to this was pick one thing and go all in. Whether it be JavaScript, Python, Java, or any other technology, just go all in on that one thing. The point here is to get good enough to build projects on your own, regardless of the tool you're using. There's a period of months where 1 month I did React Native, and 1 month I did JavaScript, and then 1 month I did Python. But that really didn't get me far at all. Dabbling into different languages is fine if you have experience building applications already. If you don't have that experience yet, then any of the languages that you pick aren't going to go very far at all. Once I realized this, I went all in on JavaScript. I learned React on the front end, Node.js on the back end, and started building my own personal full stack applications. And now I recently learned how to build in Golang. It was much easier to learn Golang than it was when I first learned JavaScript because I could use those same principles of building in Golang. The third biggest lesson is how to build a good portfolio. Now, you're most likely going to face this problem throughout your entire career. Even when you have an engineering job, you're going to wonder, okay, what's next? What am I going to build? And it's not an easy choice to pick because these projects take tons of time. And it's really easy to just stop building and lose motivation. My solution to this was to build projects you're actually interested in. It's much easier to build your dream rather than follow a tutorial. All of my personal projects have been things that I was actually interested in. I first built a fitness tracker. It would track my workouts and the calories that I consumed on a day-to-day basis. And then when I was a developer, I built a habit tracker for developers. The point here is to make it fun. You want to look forward to building your own project and making this thing come to life. And that is really when development gets rewarding. And the more projects you build, the more confidence that you gain as a developer. So when you build out these projects, like I did with my fitness tracker or with the habit tracker for developers, you realize you can start striving for more, like a social media platform or some crazy startup idea that you have. You could really do this. The fourth biggest lesson is how to find a mentor. Mentors for me have been pivotal in accelerating my career. I landed a job in 1 year with 4 different mentors. My solution to this was to join communities and message your friends and family to see if they have anybody that's a developer friend that you can connect with. Because once you get the ball rolling with one person, it's much easier to do it with the next. And I can't stress this enough. This helped me so much. I got my whole roadmap from one mentor. I got a whole step-by-step on how to learn JavaScript from another mentor. And then my third mentor ended up landing me a referral than a job. These are crucial connections that you need to make. And that's why I personally made a mentorship community where I help beginners from zero to job ready. Mentorship is the biggest gains that you can make, so highly, highly recommend. Number 5 is how to get over imposter syndrome. This was something that I actually developed over time throughout my journey. As a complete beginner, you don't know how much you lack in order to get a software engineer job. And it's a quite steep learning curve, especially to get an entry-level position. I distinctly remember a point where I got good enough to build small applications, and I was building small websites with a user interface and a backend, and it was amazing. But that's when I started to get this imposter syndrome of, wow, I don't know if I'm really cut out for this, because you start to realize how much work it takes to build these really big applications and how much more you have left until you get a job. You really start to doubt yourself and what you can do. My solution to this was to always remind myself of the past progress I've made. Maybe you've made a project before, you've got through it, you've learned the basics. That's an accomplishment. Those are huge accomplishments. And if you're brand new to the coding world, you've done things in the past, you have accomplishments. You can do this. I am just like you. At the end of the day, coding is just one skill that you can learn. It just takes learning and it just takes time. Thank you for watching. If you're interested in joining a mentorship community, I have a couple spots open in mine. I provide one-on-one mentorship where I code alongside you. We make you a whole roadmap and get you from wherever you are at to job ready. And I'm right there by your side the whole way. If that sounds even a little bit interesting, check out the links in the description. Peace.